This brings us to the development section proper. Now, it seems almost redundant to call this the development section, since we have had so much development already. No theme or thematic fragment so far has been stated without being somehow or other developed. And yet now Brahms is ready and eager to plunge into a whole new development section in which he will show us still further and deeper qualities inhabiting his themes, just as the novelist shows us his characters in ever-changing, always new lights. The development begins where the exposition left off, treating of the opening theme. We hear it first exactly as it was heard in the opening of the movement, as though this were going to be a literal repeat of the exposition, as used to be the custom with Mozart and Beethoven. But no, there's the difference, a harmonic difference. Did you hear the difference? Whereas in the exposition, the harmony was agitated and passionate. Now it is calm and pastoral. This character in the novel has undergone a visible change and is further aided by diminution. Listen to how the phrase becomes compressed and condensed. This compressed phrase now turns into the embroidery of the next section, as if by magic. Symphonic sleight of hand, that's what it is. And what is it embroidering? Another version of the first theme, in which those famous two-note groups we noted before have now expanded into three-note groups. I am sure you can hear that this is the same theme, whether it goes in groups of 2 notes or 3 notes. It's only another version of the original, an expanded, more abundant version. And coupled with the embroidery, which is also a flowering of the same branch, we feel a true development, a sense of increase and growth. And now even a further growth through a dynamic increase as the orchestra bursts into a roaring, all-out development of those 3-note groups. Now that's development, not only in a dynamic sense, but harmonically, contrapuntally, rhythmically, dramatically. Also, it's a bit complicated. For instance, did you notice that a canon was going on? A 3-note group up high, imitated immediately by a 3-note group down low, making a canon. But did you notice also that the imitation is always a mirror reflection of the thing it's imitating? If the upper 3 notes descend, the lower 3 notes ascend, and vice versa. This is called a canonic inversion, not so difficult to understand. It simply means a canon where the imitation is upside down. And added to all these canonic goings-on, the horns and woodwinds are enjoying a canon of their own, based on the embroidery we heard a moment ago, which was in turn an outgrowth of that compressed phrase, remember? Which was in turn a development of this original germ. As we said before, wheels within wheels. And this canon too is inverted. While the horns play, the woodwinds imitate upside down. But the real development is still to come. Incredible as it seems, Brahms has by no means exhausted the potential of those seeds he planted in the exposition. This exciting section of canons we just finished lands us in a new area of sudden quiet, of an almost mystic stillness, where the fanfare theme has been taken away from the brass and given to hushed strings and winds in an atmosphere no longer of assertiveness, but of eerie suspension. And into this suspended atmosphere, the winds recall the opening motive as a two-note group, then as a three-note group, and then in an even more expanded rhythmic way. On through key after key, this development goes, finally combining with the fanfare itself. Did you hear how the two themes finally came together? The horn playing the two-note group as the winds played the fanfare. Again, this is development along the lines of a novel, where two characters about whom we have already learned a great deal finally meet and a new situation is created. It is this new situation here in the symphony, this crisis, that catapults the next sequence into action, as if the meeting of these two characters had set off a sudden, violent chain of events. Real drama. The chain of events has culminated, as you just heard, in this climactic triplet figure. And out of it, in the sudden quiet, Brahms fashions a variation of the opening tune. Variations, of course, are among the leading devices of development, since by definition their function is to re-examine any given theme from a new point of view. Thus, the opening motive gets involved with that climactic triplet figure, and the variation is born. But just in case you missed the connection, Brahms has supplied clarifying clues in the pizzicato strings and flutes, which actually outline the theme in its original form on the offbeats. Altogether, it sounds like this. Now the second germ of the theme gets a going over, modulating from key to key and finally returning us to the home key of E minor, where the recapitulation or reprise can finally take place.